This is our swing arm off the Suzuki SN 1000 SN, and what I found is that it was pretty dry in there and rusted out. Took quite a task to take it all out. So what I've done is I've turned down and smoothed out the centre shaft which goes in there. I've got the bearings cleaned up. These collars go in the end. After that goes in, and what that is a spacer between this end and that end, and that just sits there. In between all that, you've got the swing arm bolt. Now, when you assemble these, most of the time they just put a little bit of grease on the outside there, but they grease up the inside a little bit on the bearings, and that's it. Now, there's nothing else to lubricate it over the years, not unless you take it apart every 5 to 10 years, which is a real pain. So what I've done in the past is that I've put in a grease nipple. This one's a straight one, but it's only for show at this stage, because I've got to go and buy a angled one so that it's easy access through the frame and swing arm with a grease gun. And what I'd do is, I've got it marked here, you probably see it, punch marks. What I'd do is I drill a hole in there about 2 mil, chamfer it, and then that goes in there. I fill it all with grease by hand first, and over the coming years you can top it up by putting grease in here, and it fills up all the swing arm cavity, and it finds its way inside these holes, which spreads out into the bearings. And so far it seems to have worked pretty good. So that's from the feedback that I've had. So let's get started. The first thing is that we'll drill these 2 holes and install that. I've installed the bearings. They're all done, and I'll pack up that with grease before we get going as well. So see how that goes. That's all I've done. There's 2 holes, bit of a chamfer there which I'll clean up. The inside I'll clean up as well. Next thing is that we need to drill a hole through the top of the swing arm, and I reckon we put it about here, just in the top part there, and it should be alright because we could angle that towards the side of the frame. So let's just go and check on the actual frame itself, eh? Where the swing arm will sit, and they'll roughly go into there, and that'll allow the angle to go through there. I'm pretty sure that's enough room. Now I checked the brake booster and there's enough room clearance to get a angled grease nipple in there and get the gun through at an angle from here. So now we'll just drill a hole in there, a 6mm M6, take a M6 thread, don't want to angle it down too much, we'll just go straight onto it. And we'll just drill that, see how that goes. And we'll just tap that hole with an M6. Just start off real slow. Make sure it's nice and straight up and down. If you want to get technical, perpendicular something. So you just do like half a turn to cut and then half a turn back to clear it so it doesn't clog up or break off. Let's hope it's not going to break off. Just fit that nipple. I won't tighten it up because I'm going to change that to an angled one. So it's pretty much as easy as that. So now we just have to fit the shaft in, centre shaft, collars on each end. But first we'll grease it all up. Make sure it's nicely packed with grease and it'll be sweet. Yeah, I've just dabbed in a little bit of grease on this bearing. And we'll just insert the sleeve. I'll just slide in there, that's alright. Do that. Clean your hands. Yeah. Stand it upright, I think that's the best way. And we just start packing in here. And that'll go in there. Grease up that nice bearing. and then this one goes in, and that's it. And we've got covers to go on there, which I'll go and get now. And then we'll clean up the swing arm bolt. Pretty crappy, so we'll do all that. We'll get those caps. These are just simple dust caps. They're steel on the inside and outside just rubber, and that sits between the swing arm and frame rather than having steel on steel. And they just fit snugly over here. Just tap them in gently, and that just holds in any more grease that we need to have. Stops any grease coming out that we've put in there. And I'll just go and clean up this bolt. As you can see, it's got oxidised rust on it, and that's from being dry. And when we install it again, we'll put a liberal amount of grease on that. So those of you who've watched the channel for a while probably see that all of the bolts that I put back in, like engine bolts and so forth, and I cover the bolt in grease and then install it. Now the reason is for that is that if the bike gets pulled down again in 20 years time, you'll find that the grease will stop all this corrosion, so that the next guy that pulls the bike down 20 years time or whenever, you'll find it easier task than what I did. So I'm just trying to help out the next guy. That's all it is. Here's our swing arm bolt cleaned up. Come up all right. And we'll probably install that swing arm very shortly, and we'll try out that grease nipple.